Hey there, Louis Ekebels here. Thanks for stopping by. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create an embedded opt-in form using MailerLite. Now, if you're not currently using MailerLite and you want to give it a shot, you can go ahead and sign up using my special referral link in the description below. When you sign up using that link, you're going to get yourself $20 in MailerLite credits that you can actually use to sign up for a paid plan. Now, MailerLite does have a free plan that allows you to host up to 1,000 subscribers, and it's just a fantastic tool. So be sure to sign up using that special referral link below. Now, if you find this tutorial helpful, please hit that thumbs up below and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on the latest content that I publish. Let's go ahead and let's get started. All right, now when you log into MailerLite, you are going to land on your dashboard, which as you can see shows you the number of subscribers you have, the plan that you're on, your subscriber growth over time, etc. Now, what you want to do is you want to scroll up to the very top and you want to click into Forms. And here is where you can actually select what type of form you want to create. Now you can see here there's an option to create pop-up forms. Those are the forms that will sort of just pop up and display on a page after a specified amount of time. Or you can create embedded forms that just are placed within your content and are static and will always sort of just be in the same position. Now I'm going to go ahead and create an embedded form in this tutorial. And to do that, you want to go ahead and click Create Embedded Form. So you want to go ahead and give your form a name. I'm going to call this Microsoft Excel opt-in form. Once you enter your name, you want to go ahead and click Save and Continue. Next, you want to go ahead and select what subscriber group this form should add subscribers to. Now, I have already gone ahead and set up my primary domain here, which is my personal blog. So I'm just going to go ahead and select that and click Save and Continue. All right, and so you can see here by default, you have a very plain opt-in form with some basic default text. Now, the very first thing that I'll show you is how to actually change the style of your opt-in form. Now, to do this, you want to scroll over to the right-hand side of the MailerLite interface, and you want to make sure you're on the Design tab. And what you want to do is you want to go ahead and click on this Change button. Now, what this is going to do is this is going to display the different types of opt-in forms that are available in MailerLite. So default is what you can see here on the screen. The other option is horizontal. Now, a horizontal form is a little bit longer than the standard form. And again, you can change the width and layout of these further as you'll see later in the tutorial. Now, the last option is card. And the card form allows you to actually embed an image directly on your opt-in form. Now, whichever one of these you want to use, go ahead and select it and then click Choose. So for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to use the actual card opt-in form layout. All right, now the next thing that you can do in MailerLite is you can actually change the background of the interface. So you can see here it is gray, and you can actually change this to any color. And you can even make this an image. Now, the reason you can customize this is to help you simulate the experience of what this would look like on your website that you're going to be adding it to. Now, to change the actual background of the interface, you want to click on the circle here in the background menu group. And this is going to bring up a submenu. Now you can change the color either by entering a color hex code or clicking into the color field and just selecting a color. So if I go ahead and I change this to purple, you can see that the interface is going to change to purple as well. You can also add an image. You can add an image of your website or other image, and this is really just trying to help you experience what this is going to look like on your website. To add an image, you can just go ahead and click on the image button, and this is going to bring up your file manager where you can come and select that image, and from here you can actually go ahead and upload an image from a URL, Google Drive, your computer altogether, etc. Now, I'm just going to click the X to get out of this screen. Now, an important note, if at any point you want to undo a change in MailerLite, what you want to do is click on this little history icon. And this is going to show you all the recent changes that were made to your form. And at any point, if you want to undo it, you can just go ahead and click undo, and it's going to reverse the change. And again, if you wanted to redo it, you could just click the hyperlink accordingly. Now, the next thing that I'll show you is how to actually change elements of the form itself. Now, the first thing I'll show you here is the form layout group. So you can see here you have two options. The first one is background. And again, clicking on the circle, this is where you can come to actually change the background color of the form itself. And just like changing the background of the interface, you could put in a hex code or you can just select your color. If you wanted to actually make the background an image, again, you could just go ahead and click on the image icon to either upload one or add a new one altogether. Now, I'm just going to click cancel as I don't want to put an image in the background of this opt-in form. Now, the next option with respect to the actual form is the layout. So to adjust the layout, you want to click on the layout circle. And what this does is this actually allows you to change the structure, if you will, of your opt-in form. So you can see here in the layout field, by default, it's set to default. Now you have the option to change this to full width. And you can see when you do that, essentially what it's going to do is make it the full width of a web page. Now I'm going to put this back to default. Now, when it is on default, again, you can change the actual width of your form by just either entering a value or using the plus and minus sign. So you can see here, I can make this bigger or smaller. I'm just going to go ahead and put this back to 400. You can also add a border. And again, you can do that by just entering a value or just manually clicking on the plus or minus sign. And you can see here a border is showing up. And again, if you want to change the color of the border, you could just select into the border field and change the actual color by putting in a hex code or selecting a color. Now I'm just going to go ahead and remove this border as I don't want a border on my form. All right, now I'll quickly show you the rest of the formatting options, but I will not go into too much detail given that it's essentially the same. You'll notice here that there is a content style menu where you can adjust the heading style. So again, clicking into any of these circles is going to bring up a menu that allows you to customize the font size, the actual font type, the color, alignment, etc. So content style allows you to update and change the headers. So this text on my opt-in form that reads newsletter and sign up for news and special offers. The form elements, this allows you to change the styling of input boxes. So input pertains to the actual display of the fields that you'll use to collect an email, for example, or a name. The label, if we had labels sitting above these fields, you would be able to change it by clicking into the label. And if your opt-in form had checkboxes, you would click into checkbox, text, and description to update the style of those elements. Now, the call to action, this refers to the actual button that is on your opt-in form. In this form, it reads subscribe. So if you wanted to change the style of that, you would go ahead and click into the call to action button. Now, what I'm going to do quickly is just click into the actual text and update it here. So to do that, you just want to go ahead and click into your actual element on your form. And you're going to notice that the pane on the right-hand side of the MailerLite user interface updates. So you can see here, I can enter a heading and I can enter my text. Now I've gone ahead and just entered in the text that I want to appear in my opt-in form. And you'll also notice that I removed my header as I just don't want to have a header on my opt-in form. Now I'm going to go ahead and click save. And so you can see my opt-in form appears with the updated text. Now I'm also going to add an actual image to this opt-in form. And to do that, I'm just going to hover my cursor over the image on the card and I'm going to click on the edit pencil. And here I can go ahead and click browse to actually select the image. Now I've gone ahead and I've actually updated or uploaded rather a image specifically for this opt-in form. So I'm just going to check it and click select. And so you can see here, I've now added an image to this opt-in form. And when you actually hover over this image element of the form, it's going to tell you the specific dimensions that are required here. Now I'm going to go ahead and click save. Now, next, what I'll show you how to do is how to add additional fields to this form. So right now you can see that this form only has one field, which is email. I want to also add a field to collect my subscriber's name. So to add a field to the form, what you want to do is click into the edit button on the field that exists on your form. And what you're going to notice here is this button that says add field. So I'm going to go ahead and click this, and you can see here that it added a name field. I could go ahead and edit this if I wanted to. So I can click on this edit button, and this will allow me to actually toggle between all of the other default fields that are available in MailerLite to capture information of your subscribers. I'm fine with just name. If you wanted to actually change the label of this field, you could go ahead and enter a new value in the label field. You can see here this checkbox. If you check this, it's going to make it mandatory that your subscribers fill this out. And you could also toggle the field type if you, again, were providing maybe topics of interest and you wanted a drop down, for example, you could go ahead and do that here as well. Now, if you wanted to show a label above the field, you could check this, and you can see what it's going to do is it's going to add the actual label just above the input box. I'm just going to uncheck that, as I find embedding the actual label within the field is just a little bit cleaner. And I'm going to go ahead and click Save Changes. And now I've added my second field. Now, if you want to delete a field, you just want to hover your cursor over the little trash bin icon and click on that, and that's going to remove it. And more importantly, if you want to rearrange fields, then you want to just place your cursor over the little hamburger nav menu and drag the field into the appropriate position. So I'm going to go ahead and put my name field above the email field. And you can see here that the form has also updated. And now I'm going to go ahead and click Save. All right, so we've added a picture, we've updated the text on our opt-in form, and we've now added an additional field. Now, the next thing that you want to do with your opt-in form is you want to click into the settings menu. And to do that, you just want to click on the word settings here. And what you can do here in this menu is you can actually configure some additional options for your form. Now, specifically, if you wanted to include a link to your privacy policy, you could just go ahead and check any of these boxes, and it's going to add that corresponding element. So again, if you wanted to have a confirmation checkbox to just ensure that people are actually giving consent for you to contact them, you would click confirmation checkbox, etc. So you want to look through these options and figure out which ones are applicable to you and your website. One thing that I would highly recommend you consider adding is a hidden segmentation field. Now, essentially what this is this allows you to record some information about subscribers that you could then use to help segment or group them into categories. Now, you'll notice that this says hidden, so this type of field is not displayed to the user. And so a good way to use these hidden fields is to, again, maybe flag where your subscriber opted in. For example, if you have a blog, what topic was it that they were looking at? And to sort of categorize them according to those topics so that when you contact them in the future, you can target some specific content that you know that they're interested in. Now, before I show you how to enable this, what I'm going to show you how to do is how to add a custom field to your subscriber record so that you can then capture a value based on where they opted in. And what you're going to want to do is go back to your dashboard, and you want to click on subscribers. And here you want to go ahead and click on fields. And so you can see here, these are all of the default fields that are available for you to populate from opt-in forms that you're creating. And if you want to add a custom field, you want to go ahead and click on this Add New Field button. And you can see here, you can give your field a name. So what I'm going to call this field is topic of interest. And I'm going to go ahead and set this to text, but you could see you have the option to store number or date information. So I'm going to go ahead and click create. And if I scroll down, you can see here topic of interest is now displayed. Now, if we go back to our opt-in form and we check hidden segmentation field, again, what this is going to allow us to do is to populate some data in a field. And so you can see here it says use custom field. And if I click into this dropdown, you'll see here topic of interest, that custom field that we just created. And you're going to want to populate a value. So because this opt-in form is going to be placed on my blog post that pertain to Microsoft Excel, if I catch a subscriber on one of these blog posts, I'm going to assign a value to this topic of interest that says Microsoft Excel so that I know that that is what that subscriber is interested in, and I can target some specific Microsoft Excel content for that specific subscriber. So up to this point, we've created our form, we've added some hidden segmentation. Now what you want to do is go ahead and configure a success message. Now to do that, you want to click on the success message at the top of your page. And so you can see by default, it's going to carry over your picture if you have one, and it's by default going to have a thank you message here. Now, if you want to actually amend any of this, you can just click into it and again, update the heading and the text. Now I've gone ahead and removed my heading and populated the text that I would like to add. And so whenever you get a subscriber, this is what they're going to see. Now the next step is to go ahead and click save. All right, now the next thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and click on the next button. And this is once you've finished configuring your form in terms of the design, the fields, and the success message. All right, now what this is going to do is this is going to bring you into your actual form overview page. So from here, you can edit the form if you wanted to or preview it by clicking on the button. You could go ahead and generate a URL to actually share this. And you can scroll down and actually generate the code snippets that would be required to embed this form on your website. Now, the last thing that I'm going to show you in this tutorial is how to add a double opt-in. Now, a double opt-in, essentially what this does is it actually requires a subscriber to go ahead and confirm that they subscribed to your email after they've submitted the form on your website. Now, it's generally good practice to use double opt-ins, especially with the rise in sort of bots that try to spam websites. If somebody actually goes ahead and clicks into the email and processes that double opt-in, that's a good chance that's a real person, and it just provides that extra level of security to ensure that you're getting your mailing list accurate and clean. Now, you can see here by default, it's turned on. If you want to actually configure that email that will be sent as part of the double opt-in, then you want to go ahead and click on the double opt-in tab. Then you can see here, there are two tabs, the actual confirmation email and a confirmation thank you page. Now you can see you have the ability to tailor your subject. So if you wanted to change this from please confirm your subscription to something else, you could go ahead and click the edit button and enter in a custom subject line. I'm just going to leave this for now and click cancel. If you wanted to change the actual sender email address for this opt-in form, then you can go ahead and click edit. And you can see here that you have the ability to change the sender name and the email address. I'm going to go ahead again and click cancel here. And the last step here is if you wanted to actually put custom content into that double opt-in email, you can go ahead and click on the edit button. And this is going to allow you to use the same visual drag and drop builder that we use to create our form to customize that double opt-in email. Now, again, if you want to amend any of the content, you can just click into it here and amend it. If you want to reorder it, you can just move it here and use the up and down arrows. And if you wanted to also customize the text, then you can go ahead and do that as well. Now, you'll notice that we have a piped in field here. Now, this is here by default. But if you recall when we were looking at the fields screen on the subscriber page, you can pipe in any of the fields that you're collecting in your opt-in form by simply placing them in these brackets and referencing that field, the name. So again, you want to go back to that field page and replace the $ followed by the name of the field to pipe in text. So for example, if you wanted to say, hey, subscriber name, you could do that using this approach here. And on the right-hand pane, you'll notice you have the ability to drag and drop a whole bunch of different elements, signatures, social links, articles, etc. So if you want to add any of these elements, you could just go ahead and drag them over to your form and then edit that form as well. Now, the last thing I'll quickly show you here is once you finish customizing your double opt-in email, you'll notice there's this last tab that says thank you page. So again, you still have the option to also customize the thank you page, even on that double opt-in email to meet your standards, to fit your brand or your website. So again, same idea. You can edit the content by clicking on it and amending it. And you can also add these additional elements by just dragging them and dropping them into the form here. And so that's it. In this tutorial, I showed you how to build an opt-in form using MailerLite. Just as a reminder, if you're not currently using MailerLite and you want to give it a shot, be sure to use my special referral link in the description below. If you sign up using that referral link, you're actually going to nab yourself $20 in MailerLite credits that can be applied to an upgraded plan, absolutely free at no cost to you. And again, MailerLite has a free tier that you can go ahead and use as well. It allows you to have up to 1,000 subscribers without having to pay a cent. And again, that's it. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please hit that thumbs up below and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on the latest tutorials that I publish. I'm Blue Yeti Nano. Thanks for stopping by. Talk soon.